Welcome to the CB Cowgirls podcast, where rodeo roots run deep. We invite you to grab a cup of coffee and come to the table as we visit about all things rodeo and the Western lifestyle. Today's episode is a collaboration with the Columbia River Circuit and brought to you by Ram Rodeo, Lush Schwab Tires, and Legends Casino. Well, happy Tuesday, everybody, and good morning. This is your host, Becky Mapston, for the CB Cowgirls podcast, and I just want to welcome you to the show and this episode. I appreciate all those who tuned in and listened to my interview last week with Brooks DeHosey, and I've got some fun interviews coming up the rest of this week, so stay tuned as I get those posted out and edited. First and foremost, how many of you are ready for spring? Today is officially the last day of winter, and I could not be happier. I don't know about all of you, but I've had enough snow to last me till next winter. That is for sure. And I know everything's relative, really. Everything's relative. We've had a lot of snow, nothing compared to what they're facing right now in the Midwest with the flooding and the snow and the blizzards between Nebraska and South Dakota. I know that there was like extreme sub-zero weather in the Midwest going east. It's just been a really crazy winter. And so I'm ready to welcome spring in. I know many of you guys are. And with spring comes the start of the Columbia River Circuit rodeos. And we are excited to say, hey, if you're in the Redmond area, get on over to the High Desert Stampede March 29th and 30th, which is just a week away next weekend. It's going to be a great rodeo. I know they're going to broadcast that on prorodeotv.com. It's going to be jam-packed with our circuit cowboys and cowgirls getting their start, and we're just really excited about it. So stay tuned for that. Right now, though, we do have a select number of cowboys and cowgirls that are en route. If not, they've already probably gotten there and settled in, and that is they're all heading to Kissimmee for the Ram National Circuit Finals. So that's pretty exciting. There's a lot of money up for grabs. There's a $20,000 voucher for a Ram truck up for grabs. There's a Polaris UTV up for grabs, and there's standings up for grab in the world standings for the PRCA. So a lot at stake, and these cowboys and cowgirls work hard all year long within their circuit, making rodeo numbers and going to their circuit finals. And we had a great circuit finals in January. So I'm really excited to see how all of our guys and gals represent down there this weekend, starting, I think circuit finals start Thursday, the 21st. So today I want to bring to you an interview I did just a couple days ago with one of our Bullriders that is making his first appearance at the Ram National Circuit Final. So I'm going to go ahead and turn over the podcast to our interview with Mr. Levi Gray. I'm spending some time with our Columbia River Circuit Bullrider and PRCA rookie, Mr. Levi Gray, out of Derry, Oregon. Levi, are you there? Are you with us?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the podcast. I want you to share with our listeners. You had a stellar 2018 season. You ended up winning. You were the average winner at the Columbia River Circuit Finals Rodeo. Tell us about how that culminated after Walla Walla, because you had a great ride at Walla Walla the last time we talked.
Well, I finished the year off really good. That weekend at Walla Walla, I placed good at Walla Walla. I was second in Lakeview the next day, and then I was, I think, fifth or sixth in Ellensburg, and had a good weekend there, and then kind of finished the year out pretty strong. Didn't do any good at Pendleton, but, it was a good ending for the year, and whenever I went into the circuit finals in January, I knew I was too far behind to catch anyone in the race to win the whole circuit. So I knew I had to just win the circuit finals itself if I wanted to go to Florida. And I had three really good bulls there, and I was able to stay on two of them. One of them, he was pretty good and bucked me off, but just happened to work out in my favor. And God blessed me with a very, very good weekend.
He surely did. And what I thought was really great too is not only did you win the circuit finals, but you finished top three in the permit series for the year as well. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I had on top of just having a good circuit rodeos and whatnot, I traveled a bunch, going to school in New Mexico, so I was able to hit a bunch of rodeos down in Texas and whatnot, and I ended up third for the permit standings, and that was definitely pretty cool.
So then you filled your permit, and you're able to, this is now your rookie year, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I that was my first permit. I could have bought another permit, but all the guys that I was riding with in the permit standings, they were all on their second year permit and got on their rookie card. And being that I was riding with them guys throughout the year, I figured I might as well just jump on my rookie card and go for rookie of the year this year too.
Well, how are you feeling so far with the season starting? I know our Columbia River Circuit doesn't start till next weekend in Redmond at the High Desert Stampede, but you've been down south, obviously. I know you were in Arizona this weekend. You had a college rodeo and a PRCA rodeo. How's it been going for you down there?
Oh, it's been good. January, I had a really, really good month. Placed good at Denver and won quite a bit of money out of the circuit finals. And then right at the beginning of February, I ended up pulling my groin and pulled it pretty good. So I took off 30 days and let it heal up. And last weekend was not this last weekend, but the weekend before was my first Bulls back, and my groin feels 100%. Probably feels better than whenever I first heard it. And
good.
So now I Queen Creek was my first rodeo back, and it felt good. So pulled a little check out of there, and yeah, it's just got to keep the ball rolling, keep staying on as many bulls as I can.
Funny because you watch if you go to ProRodeo.com and you watch the standings and you watch the shifting and it's so fun because you get excited to watch it, but it's still really early in the season. We have a lot of rodeo left, but even to that fact, you are sitting fifth in the rookie standings, so that's a pretty good accomplishment this early in the season. Yeah,
and like you said, there's still a lot of rodeoing to do, and there's a lot of really, really good kids that are in the rookie standings, and so it's not over till it's over, but I think those standings will keep shifting, especially as the year goes along. By the end of the year, it's a matter of who rode the most bulls and who was able to stay the healthiest. If you're not healthy, you're probably not staying on very many bulls, so.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know how you guys do it. And you have such a stellar group of bull riders, including yourself, in this circuit. Does it ever shake you up a little bit?
I don't know if it shake me up. I mean, I've rodeoed with them guys ever since I was 14 and 15 years old. I've just always been around them. They're a really good group of guys. All of them are really handy. Actually, at the circuit finals, I was sitting there and I kind of looked around, and it was almost like I almost felt a little bit of what it'd probably be like at the national finals. You had Chase Doherty and Jordan Spears and Roscoe and Brady Portnair, and there was a bunch of really handy guys, and all of them guys are always in the top 20, and then you got guys like Kane Smith who are always really handy and guys to watch out for, and so it's kind of it's a real confidence booster to come out on top whenever you're riding with an elite group of guys like that. You just really feel like you belong there.
I think you've done a great job improving that you belong right where you're at. I've been impressed watching you ride. You're such an intense rider. You have such passion when you ride. I'm curious to know, when did you choose bull riding? When did this become what you were going to do?
Oh, my dad rode bulls, and I guess it's always been on my mind that I was going to be a bull rider ever since I was little enough to know what bull riding was. I started riding sheep, and I rode everything that I could, whether if it was the rocking chair or get on my dad's knee, or whenever I got too big for that, I'd get on his back. And I started riding calves when I was 5 or 6, and I've always wanted to be a bull rider as long as I can ever remember, and I've never really wanted to be anything else. I've tried bronc riding and team roping, and them events are fun, but they're not for me as the way bull riding gets my adrenaline going and whatnot.
Like many bull riders and just athletes in general in the rodeo industry, it sounds like your dad was one of your biggest mentors.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's been not only in bull riding but just in life in general. I've always looked up to him and learned most everything I know about life from him. And I'd say he's probably the greatest mentor in my life.
I look at how you're riding. I look at how your season has started out this year and the season you had last year. And then I noticed in your bio from the circuit finals, you mentioned you even had a little brother named TJ, who's also a junior bull riding champion. So it's really just kind of, in your bloodlines, if you will.
Oh, yeah. And TJ, he rides really good. he's 17. He'll turn 18 in July, and whenever he turns 18, he's going to start pro rodeoing, and the circuit's gonna find out who TJ Gray is, because he's he's about as handy as they come right there.
Just such a exciting event to watch in our circuit because of the caliber of cowboys you guys are and athletes you guys are. And you're traveling now to Kissimmee. You leave tomorrow? Is that what you said, or Wednesday?
I fly out 1 o'clock on Wednesday morning.
Okay, and so for our team, for the circuit finals, we have, in the bull riding, we have you and Roscoe competing, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Which I think Jordan Spears is competing too, being that he was the all-around champion, wasn't he?
He was, and I'm actually, to be honest with you, I would have to find out how that works.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure
how 100%.
That all works. So.
Well, how are you feeling about it? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Like I said, I was off for a month, so I was healing up and kind of had a little bit of a rough couple bulls there when I first got going. And but yesterday after I got off that bull, I felt 100% and feeling confident. And I'm just going to go over there and take it one bull at a time, and just love riding each bull. And
riding.
Yeah, if the Lord willing, I'll walk out of there with a little bit of money in my pocket, and we'll just have a good time.
Well, don't be bashful, because if you walk out of there and win, you're going to walk out of there with a lot of money.
Yeah.
And a really great climb in the standings. Question that I have for you. So you're in your rookie year in the PRCA. You're going to college. You're competing, I take it, in your college team as well?
Yes, ma'am. I'll miss a college rodeo next weekend for it, and I told that to my coach, and he's like, well, if it's for the Ram Finals, that's probably a pretty good reason to not be there. But I've been competing. We had 4 college rodeos last fall, and then this semester we just started up the first weekend of March, and we go all the way through March, and then into April too. So I've got to kind of juggle around with my pro rodeo and my college rodeos to try and hit as many as I can.
Tell me, how do you find the balance?
Most of my classes are online. The school I go to, the teachers all work with me pretty good. If there's a will, there's a way, and so I figure if I just keep trying hard, I'll by the end of it, I'll have a degree, and I'll still be able to rodeo all through it.
Right. And you're a sophomore this year, correct? That's what we determined? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So that makes you, what, 19?
Yes, ma'am.
I just can't get over how level-headed you young athletes are right now. I mean, I listened to you talk at 19 years old, and I think you're in your late 20s. Do you think that there's definitely an advantage to living this way of life and being a cowboy and being in the Western world and the way you're raised that really sets that bar for your way of life versus maybe somebody else that didn't have that upbringing?
I think so. I think my upbringing has a lot to do with it, but I also think living, competing in pro rodeo itself, you're around world champions every day. You kind of gain their knowledge, and that just by being around them, and even though I'm only 19, I can still pick up things from guys that are 28 or 30, and I can learn a lot from them. And I think whenever you're competing with guys that are at that level, you have to get the same mindset, if not a better mindset, being that I'm a little bit younger, a little bit less experienced. So right. I have to go above and beyond, and whenever you grow up a lot whenever you're rodeoing this hard. You're out on the road, out alone by yourself, and you have no choice but to grow up, in my opinion.
I'm just, like I said, I'm very impressed with the level of just the level of integrity and the maturity that I hear in you and a lot of those that are your age today in rodeo. It's refreshing. Let's just say that. It's very, very refreshing.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a couple more questions. 2019 goals. Do you have any big goals for this year? Are there any big rodeos you're hoping that you can take the title home on? If you could pick one, where would it be?
Pendleton.
Pendleton
was by far my favorite rodeo of the year last year. I didn't get to go to some of the other rodeos. like Cheyenne, or even the big rodeos like Austin and San Antonio, Texas. But Pendleton was by far my favorite, especially being it's in my home state. I think it'd be really, really cool to win that.
There is a select few of rodeos that are like Pendleton, but there's still no Pendleton.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, that's great. So we'll put that down, and we'll see how you do in Pendleton this year, and we'll keep cheering you on there. Fun fact: what's your favorite food?
Oh, favorite food. I like steak. Can't go wrong with steak and potatoes.
No, baked or fried, or mashed.
Either mashed or baked.
Okay, so when you're traveling down the road, what's your favorite music to listen to, or do you listen to everything?
Oh, I listen to everything. Whenever I'm driving all night, I'll probably listen to some old school Chris Ledoux, or whenever I show up to a rodeo, something that'll kind of pump you up a little bit. I just kind of listen to really anything.
Okay.
I like jumping in with new people because you get to listen to some different songs and stuff that you wouldn't normally listen to.
So you have a wide range palette of music.
Yep.
That's good. It keeps you cultured.
Yeah, exactly.
Last question. Outside your dad, who's your biggest hero?
Ooh, I don't know if you could pinpoint one person. My little brother, he's pretty cool. I look up to him in a lot of ways. My rodeo coach, he's helped me a lot. Stepping out and into the pro rodeo. He rode bulls, and he just quit pro rodeoing about 2 years ago. So that him having that knowledge helped me a lot. I don't know if I could pinpoint it on one though.
Okay. No, that's all right. You never know. And there's a lot of folks that come behind each and every one of us that really lift us up, encourage us, and build us up, and they really are those everyday heroes for us in our life anyway. So you don't have to have just one, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. My family stands behind me in amazing ways, and a lot of it I probably take credit for, but no, they're huge supporters of everything I do.
So are any of them traveling with you down to Kissimmee to watch your ride, or are they just going to wait and hear the report from you?
My brother's actually going to fly out with me and then fly back. He's going to go down there with me, and that'll be pretty cool to have him down there with me.
That'll give him something to visualize and see and know where he wants to be in the future.
Yeah, exactly. And he's pretty mature for his age too, and I think he'll exceed probably a lot quicker than I did it when it comes to pro rodeo, and I think you'll be seeing him here soon.
Well, Levi, it's been wonderful visiting with you. Thank you so much for making it work so we could visit. I know it's been a while since we talked, but I think it's important that everybody gets to hear a little bit about our up-and-comers and rookies, and you are just on your way. So I wish you, and I know the rest of the circuit wishes you the best of luck in Kissimmee next week, and we'll be following up with you guys and seeing how you're doing. You may hear from me through text and saying, hey, how's it going down there? If not, report back to us. Let us know how you do. Post on Instagram. Speaking of, tell listeners how they find you on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
It's Levi Gray Official, I believe.
Okay.
With a little @ sign.
Look up Levi Gray. It'll pop up. I know that we link you on our Instagram account. So if you want to follow Levi, just find a post of him on our circuit page if you can't find him, and link up with him. That way, support him, encourage him. Levi, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to let you go. And that is it for the CB Cowgirls podcast on behalf of the Columbia River Circuit, and we will talk to you next time down the rodeo road.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the CB Cowgirls podcast in collaboration with the Columbia River Circuit, brought to you by Ram Rodeo, Lesh Swab Tires, and Legends Casino. Until next time.